A study published in the last 12 months by the European Journal of Nutrition confirmed that more than 75% of adults over 60 experience some degree of chronic dehydration without even knowing it, and that this silent dehydration can reduce blood flow by up to 20%. But here is the important part. Plain water alone is often not enough to reverse this problem. In the next few minutes, you will discover 5 natural beverages that, according to the latest science, can help your body produce nitric oxide, relax your arteries, and improve circulation in a way that a simple glass of water cannot achieve. If you're over 60 or care for someone who is, stay until the end, because the number one drink on this list has surprised even cardiologists. Before we dive into 5 drinks, you need to understand why plain water may fall short after age 60. As we age, artery walls lose elasticity, and the body's natural production of nitric oxide, the molecule that tells blood vessels to relax, can drop between 30 and 50% compared to a younger person. On top of that, chronic low-grade inflammation and increased oxidative stress damage the inner lining of the arteries and make it harder for blood to flow normally. The result is more fatigue, heavy legs, cold hands, and even difficulty concentrating. The beverages you are about to discover contain specific compounds such as antioxidants, dietary nitrates, electrolytes, and natural anti-inflammatory agents that pure water simply does not have. None of them replace medical treatment, but they can become powerful allies within a healthy lifestyle. With that said, let's start with number 5. Drink number 5, coconut water. We begin with a drink you probably already know, but that very few people over 60 use correctly: natural coconut water. What makes this beverage special is not just that it is refreshing, but that it contains a combination of potassium, magnesium, and natural electrolytes the body needs to maintain proper fluid balance inside and outside cells. This is critical for circulation because when that balance is disrupted, blood vessels tighten, blood pressure can rise, and the heart has to work harder than necessary. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that regular coconut water consumption helped reduce systolic blood pressure in 71% of participants with mild hypertension and diastolic pressure in 29%. Those numbers are far from trivial when it comes to protecting the heart after 60. But there is an important detail many people overlook. Not all coconut water on the shelf is the same. Processed versions with added sugar, flavorings, or preservatives lose much of their benefit and can even spike blood glucose levels, which is exactly the opposite of what we want. The recommendation is to choose 100% natural coconut water with no added sugars, and to drink it preferably in the morning or after a light walk, when the body needs to replenish electrolytes naturally. You can also add a squeeze of fresh lemon to boost mineral absorption thanks to vitamin C. If you can get it straight from a fresh coconut, even better. One 250 milliliter glass per day is enough to capture the benefits without exceeding your calorie needs. Think of coconut water as the foundation of your new smart hydration routine. Drink number 4, tart cherry water. Tart cherry is one of those beverages that almost nobody in the general public knows about, but that over the last 5 years has gained enormous attention in the scientific community. And for good reason. This small fruit contains a concentration of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that surpasses most common fruits. Specifically, the anthocyanins in tart cherry have been shown in clinical studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition to reduce markers of inflammation, such as C-reactive protein, an indicator directly linked to arterial damage and cardiovascular risk. On top of that, and this is something few people mention, tart cherry is one of nature's richest sources of melatonin, the hormone that regulates the sleep cycle. Sleeping well is not a luxury after 60. It is a necessity for the cardiovascular system to repair itself every night. The most practical way to consume this drink is to prepare a concentrated tart cherry juice diluted in water. You can find a concentrate at health food stores or online. The ideal ratio is 1 to 2 tablespoons of concentrate per 250 milliliter glass of water. The best time to drink it is approximately 1 hour before bed, so you can take advantage of both its anti-inflammatory effect and its natural melatonin content to improve sleep quality. You can also mix in a little fresh grated ginger for extra flavor and additional anti-inflammatory properties. The key is to avoid commercial versions loaded with refined sugar. If you cannot find the concentrate, look for dried tart cherries and prepare an infusion in warm water. Do not underestimate this drink. The dual effect on inflammation and sleep can make an enormous difference in how you feel every morning when you wake up. Drink number 3, green tea. Green tea has been consumed in Asia for centuries, and it is no coincidence that the populations with the highest life expectancy in the world, such as those in Okinawa, Japan, drink it daily. But the reason green tea appears on this list is not just tradition, it is science. Catechins, and in particular one called EGCG, or epigallocatechin gallate, are compounds that act as powerful antioxidants capable of protecting the inner walls of blood vessels from oxidative damage. A meta-analysis of 13 studies published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that regular green tea consumption was associated with a significant reduction in cardiovascular disease risk and an improvement in endothelial function, which is essentially the ability of arteries to expand and contract in a healthy way. After 60, when that function naturally deteriorates, green tea can become a tremendous ally. However, there's a very common mistake that ruins a large part of green tea's benefits: brewing it with boiling water. When you pour water at 100 degrees Celsius over the leaves, you destroy a significant portion of the catechins and produce a bitter taste that causes many people to abandon it altogether. The ideal water temperature is between 70 and 80 degrees Celsius. A simple trick is to boil the water, let it rest for 2 to 3 minutes, and then pour it over the leaves. The ideal steeping time is 3 to 5 minutes, no more. Additionally, adding a few drops of fresh lemon can increase catechin bioavailability by up to 80%, according to research from Purdue University. The recommendation is to drink 2 to 3 cups per day, preferably in the morning or early afternoon, to avoid interfering with sleep due to its moderate caffeine content. Avoid bottled green teas with sugar. Always choose loose leaves or good quality tea bags. Drink number 2, hibiscus, Flor de Jamaica. If you live in Latin America, you probably already know hibiscus as a refreshing drink for hot days. But what you may not have known is that this flower contains one of the most potent antioxidant profiles in the plant kingdom, thanks to its extremely high concentration of anthocyanins and organic acids. Several studies, including one published in the Journal of Hypertension, have shown that regular consumption of hibiscus tea can reduce systolic blood pressure by an average of 7 to 10 millimeters of mercury in people with mild to moderate hypertension. That reduction may seem small in numbers, but in practice it means less strain on the heart every single minute of the day, which translates into enormous cumulative protection over months and years. Furthermore, the anthocyanins in hibiscus help protect the vascular endothelium, the inner lining of the arteries that serves as the first line of defense against plaque formation. To obtain these benefits, you need to prepare the infusion correctly. Use 2 to 3 teaspoons of dried hibiscus flowers per cup of hot, but not boiling water. Let it steep for 5 to 10 minutes. Strain and enjoy it hot or cold according to your preference. The ideal intake is 2 to 3 cups per day. If you want to enhance both its flavor and its properties, add a touch of cinnamon and a few drops of lemon. Now, an important note. If you're taking blood pressure medication or anticoagulants, you must consult your doctor before incorporating hibiscus regularly, because it can amplify the effect of those medications and cause an excessive drop in pressure. Also avoid commercial versions with added sugar or artificial flavoring. Pure hibiscus flower, prepared at home, is affordable, delicious, and backed by science as one of the best infusions for cardiovascular health after 60. Drink number 1, beetroot water. And we arrive at the number 1 drink on this list, the one that has generated the most scientific research over the last 10 years in the field of cardiovascular health: beetroot water. The reason this beverage holds the top spot is direct and compelling. Beetroot is one of nature's most concentrated sources of dietary nitrates, compounds the body converts into nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessel walls, allowing blood to flow with less resistance, and improving oxygen delivery to every organ from the muscles to the brain. A clinical trial published in the journal Hypertension showed that a single glass of beetroot juice was able to lower systolic blood pressure by an average of 8 millimeters of mercury in just 4 hours. That magnitude is comparable to some antihypertensive medications, and it comes entirely from a natural food. After 60, when the body's own nitric oxide production drops significantly, beetroot becomes an extraordinary resource to compensate for that loss. But there are important keys to preparing this drink correctly and getting the maximum benefit. The best approach is to use raw beetroot, since prolonged cooking destroys part of the nitrates. You can peel a medium beetroot, cut it into pieces, blend it with a glass of filtered water, and strain the result if you prefer a lighter texture. To improve the flavor and boost absorption, add the juice of half a lemon and a small slice of fresh ginger. The best time to drink it is in the morning, on an empty stomach, or alongside breakfast, so the circulatory benefits accompany you during the most active hours of the day. If the taste is too strong at first, you can mix it with a little unsweetened green apple juice to mellow it out. The recommended amount is 1 250 milliliter glass per day. As with hibiscus, if you take blood pressure medication, consult your doctor because beetroot can amplify its effect. This drink is the cheapest, simplest, and most scientifically supported investment you can make in your arteries after age 60. Now that you know all 5 beverages, there is something very few people understand that can multiply the results you get: the synergistic effect. When you consume these drinks strategically throughout the day, you're not simply adding up individual benefits. You're activating different biochemical pathways at the same time. For example, the nitrates in beetroot in the morning open the nitric oxide pathway to improve blood flow during your active hours, while the anthocyanins in hibiscus at midday protect the vascular endothelium through the antioxidant pathway, and the melatonin in tart cherry at night allows the cardiovascular system to repair itself during deep sleep. None of these pathways compete with each other. On the contrary, they complement one another. But there is an additional piece of data that most cardiovascular health videos never mention. A significant portion of the polyphenol in these beverages is not absorbed in the small intestine, but reaches the colon, where gut bacteria transform them into secondary metabolites with their own anti-inflammatory and cardioprotective properties. A study from the University of Reading published in the British Journal of Nutrition demonstrated that these polyphenol-derived metabolites can remain active in the bloodstream for 24 to 48 hours, extending the window of protection far beyond the moment you drink the beverage. This means your gut microbiota acts as a kind of secondary factory of protective compounds, as long as you feed it the right polyphenol consistently. And here comes the second piece of the puzzle that almost nobody connects. Physical exercise amplifies the benefits of these drinks in a way that science is only now finishing documenting. When you perform moderate physical activity, such as walking, doing isometric exercises, or climbing stairs, blood flow increases and blood vessels experience what researchers call shear stress, a mechanical force that stimulates the natural production of nitric oxide in the endothelium. If you combine that mechanical stimulation with the nitrates from beetroot or the catechins from green tea, the result is significantly greater than either one alone. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who consumed beetroot juice before a session of moderate exercise increased their cardiovascular efficiency by 15% compared to those who performed the same exercise without the beverage. That translates into less fatigue, better muscle oxygenation, and a heart that works with less effort. That is why the recommendation is simple but powerful. Drink your glass of beetroot water or green tea between 60 and 90 minutes before your exercise routine, and save a hibiscus and tart cherry for the afternoon and evening. The goal is not to drink all 5 beverages every single day without fail, but rather to rotate among them to cover different protection pathways without creating palate fatigue or monotony in your routine. Consistency over weeks and months is what produces real change, not the intensity of a single day. Your body needs time to adapt, rebuild, and respond. And these drinks are the fuel that supports that silent but profound process. These are the 5 beverages that science has identified as the most effective for supporting blood circulation after 60. But remember, No single drink works magic on its own. The best results come when you combine smart hydration with regular physical activity, a balanced diet rich in vegetables, fruits, and healthy fats, and consistent habits over time. If this video brought you value, leave me a comment telling me which of these 5 drinks you're going to try first. And if you know someone over 60 who needs to hear this information, share this video with them. It can make a real difference in their health. See you in the next video.